Hello, compatriot students of Tennessee Community College. My name is Christopher Stewart, and today I present to you a basic competency guide for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, in which I'll cover basic controls, basics of how to use them effectively, and some of the mental dynamics that go into the game when it's well played. Now, I understand that some of you might not be very into video games, or perhaps you don't care very much about Super Smash Bros., or maybe you don't even own a Switch. And to those people that feel that way, I present to you a scenario. Imagine you're at a friend's house, and your friend lifts up to you, presents to you a controller, and they say, do you want to play Super Smash Brothers? And you think to yourself, I'm not particularly interested in Super Smash, but they're my friends, so you compromise. They boot up the game, they get to the character select screen, they pick a character called Captain Falcon, and you pick Mario, because you've seen Mario around. He's pretty big, he has that new movie, he's in a lot of games. You know who he is. Then you get to the stage select screen, and they pick this grand stage called the Final Destination. It's this great platform with the blazing infernal engine blasting the whole thing through a swirling vortex, and it's pretty dramatic. Perhaps it even piques your interest. But before you can even explore that interest, or before your poor Mario can catch his bearings on the new stage, the Captain Falcon just lays into the Mario, grabs him by the neck, slams him into the ground, as the Mario's trying again to desperately get on his feet, bouncing up again. The Captain Falcon slams him back down into the ground with a great stomp, and as your Mario bounces up again, the Captain Falcon drags into him this cosmic electricity billowing knee that just knocks Mario far off the stage, out over the void. And maybe it's the humiliation of being beaten by your friend this badly, or maybe it's the excruciated look in Mario's eyes, but something in you thinks, if only I knew how to save this poor Mario. If only I had listened to the information when it was available to me. With that in mind, I present to you a guide to Super Smash Bros., after which you'll be able to save as many Marios and as many characters as you need. But before you can understand how to save anyone in Smash, you need to understand what the win condition is, and how to basically navigate your character. The win condition in Smash is not like in most other fighting games to deplete your opponent's health, but instead to increase their percentage. The more you hit them, the higher their percentage, and the further away they go when you hit them. Your main goal is to knock them off the stage and keep them there. But to be able to do that, you need to understand how to move your character on a basic level. To start, let's go back to our scenario. Instead of falling into the abyss, to the void, like Mario did, he could have jumped. You jump, one of the most core movements in the entire game, with X or Y. In order to move anywhere, even once you jump in any direction, you need to be able to move with the walk stick or the directional input stick if you're in the air. Once you're back on the stage with your jumping and moving, you need to know how to attack your opponent. The most core attacks tend to come from the A button. Just plain A is always a relatively low damage attack on whatever character you are. Even if the character does a lot of damage, it will be one of their most neutral or basic attacks. But if you press the directional input stick or the analog stick and A at the same time, you can get off a smash attack. The most powerful attack you have, but also the slowest. Also very essential and basic in Super Smash are special attacks, which are done with the B button. When you press just B, every single character has a special individual ability. When you hold left or right or up or down with the main control stick while pressing B, you'll also activate one of your special abilities. To start, the most essential B move is the up B. That is an extra recovery boost on every single character on top of the jump if you run out or are blocked after using your jump. Also from the B button are side specials and the down special, which are generally unique to the character and are used for a wide myriad of purposes. Now that you can move and shove your opponent to and forth and get yourself around on a basic level, it's important to learn a few more advanced but necessary techniques. To start, let's get on to some on the ground. One important technique on the ground, and probably the most easy to pull off, is the shield. The shield is fairly self-explanatory and is done by holding the R or L triggers. Also important on the ground is dodging. Dodging is again fairly self-explanatory and is done by holding the L and R triggers but moving to the side with the analog base stick. You can dodge side to side and also to the ground. Another important grounded technique is grabbing. Grabbing is one of the only things that can get around a shield. If your opponent shields and you grab, then you suddenly have power over them, and from your grab you can do a throw. There are also a lot of advanced techniques that take place in the air. Most essentially, I would say, are aerial attacks. Aerial attacks are essentially like smash attacks, but in the air. They do less damage, but are generally faster and are incredibly important to chasing your opponent around or keeping them from recovering when they're off stage. Another technique that resides strictly in the air is air dodging. Air dodging is like dodging, but in the air, but it is also very important to do when avoiding your opponent's aerial attacks or edge guarding. And finally, in what could be considered perhaps just one large move, are combos. To define a combo a little more succinctly, I'll quote Super Smash Bros. Pro Guide's YouTube channel, which states that a combo is one attack and then another attack while the opponent is still in hit stun to create a string. With an understanding of how to move your character, in order to be a good player, you must also know how to move your character when in a fight with another actual human. To start, I'm going to talk about a concept called neutral, which the best player in the world, MKLeo, described as the most important concept in competitive Super Smash. There are three phases of neutral. One is defensive, in which one character is on the offensive and you, the one in defensive, is being attacked and trying to mitigate the damage from that attack. One is neutral, the aforementioned phase in which both players are not being attacked or not in disadvantage or advantage or not in defense or offense and are trying to space each other out, keep a distance, but try to whiff punish or find a way in, find any mistake from the opponent and take advantage of it. And one is offensive or advantage state, when you've taken advantage of one of your opponent's mistakes and you're actively capitalizing on it and trying to keep them from getting out of it as they lie in disadvantage state or defensive state. Another important concept in mental game is option selection. This is somewhat an extension of neutral, but not quite. What it really is just understanding what your opponent is capable of and what your moves can do and how your moves can reach them. And finally, in competitive play, something very important is mentality. Really, as with any competitive sport, keeping a positive and productive mentality can be very difficult, especially when you really care. So if you're losing and it feels as though you might not win, you might start trying a lot harder or criticizing yourself for all of your mistakes and becoming hyper-conscious of everything you do, which really blocks your understanding of the game and your instincts from taking over, which generally leads to a loss. And it tends to be a spiraling effect because the more you lose, the more you hyper-analyze yourself, and it yields unproductive sessions of play. While it's very easy to understand that having a negative mentality will badly affect your gameplay, it's not always easy to remember that when you're actively frustrated in a match. But as Kevin Nanny, an older top player in the Super Smash community, said in a message board post about 6 years ago, a great way to combat negative mentality is to work at the game because you enjoy it and because you enjoy learning, not because you want to win. So there you have it. You know how the game works, how to control your character, some of the finer advanced details of how to control your character, and how to institute those controls in a gameplay setting. Now that we're finished, I want you to again conjure up that match with your friend. Again, they pick Captain Falcon, you pick Mario, and then you again go to Final Destination. But this time when your punk friend grabs for you, you know what to do. You dodge away, and then as they overextend, you whiff punish. You punish them by engaging in a combo, you knock them into the air, and then you do a grand series of aerials, all leading into a great smash down into the abyss that Captain Falcon, just in our previous scenario, tried to relegate poor Mario to. You and your Mario and your pride arise victorious, and you can go forth knowing that no other Mario will ever be able to be taken advantage of, and that you can protect any other wayward avatars or Marios or characters as needed with your newfound important Smash knowledge. Thank you.